Cruz, and I love Molly Sleuth.
I am the eyes and ears of this institution.
Mama don't like tattletales.
Who knows? In 1,000 years, even you may be worth something.
Little Hand says it's time to rock and roll.
Room for one more, honey.
Today we face the monsters that are at our door.
I think we live in overstimulated times.
Hi from Detroit. I just ate my body weight in Taco Bell. I feel like shit. It's like Thanksgiving. It was so delicious. I'll give you a review later. Enjoy Randy and Ben. I'm going to a concert, and I will tell you all about it next week.
What's going on, my friend Ben?
Hello, sir. I am Molly Sleuth. And with me tonight is Black Molly Sleuth.
Without the blonde hair.
What's up, everyone?
How's everyone doing? I'm Randy Agard, good friend of Molly Sleuth's, former LAPD ex-cop. We'll be covering some really good stuff tonight. I know you guys missed a pretty blonde girl, Molly. But me and my friend here, we're going to be going over the death of one of our cultural pillars. So without further ado, go ahead and introduce yourself, Mr. Ben.
Well, I'm Ben. I am the producer for this show, I suppose. That means I press buttons behind the scenes, and sometimes I'll throw up like little graphics like I'm about to do right now, like this guy.
There he is, Mr. Skeletor.
Now you see the depth of my power, and I hope you'll respect it. So yeah, tonight we're just going to be talking about the death of the entertainment industry as we are seeing it. And we're not going to cover every single film ever made because there's a lot of X-rated films we can't show you on here, unfortunately. I don't know where I'm going with that. Yeah, we're just going to talk about films, though, or not films only, but entertainment industry in general, and how it seems to be collapsing, whether that's intentional or not. So sit back and watch us do that thing we just talked about right now.
So Ben and I were talking a little before the show a few days ago as we were going over what to talk. One of the stuff he brought up near and dear to my heart because we were kids when we saw this is one's G.I. Joe, the other one is
Well, while Randy is freezing, I'll show you a G.I. Joe. He is that big.
Oh, nice. Am I still freezing, sir?
You're good now.
Yeah, so he and I were talking about Transformers, and it was kind of a I'm not anti-capitalist, but it was a kind of a capitalist idea to kill off all of the old toy line to make room for the new toy line. What they didn't realize was they were traumatizing a generation of kids. Like we were watching our characters that we grew up with. They'd wrestle every week. did get in a shootout, so no one would get hurt. But in the movie, these guys are getting blown to bits. People we really grew to care about just getting blown up. And then I'll let Ben talk about what he saw with G.I. Joe, which was probably the
yeah.
human.
So G.I. Joe, like the Cobra, you watch an episode of this cartoon and they have the laser guns firing back and forth and nobody's hitting anyone. Maybe they'll hit like a barrel and it'll explode or something, but there's no death. There's barely any violence. But then the G.I. Joe movie came out and little Ben was watching before he went to school, and the main character, Duke, gets a fucking snake thrown right through his chest, and he dies in the movie. And then I went to school thinking about a snake thrown through someone's fucking chest and them dying. So it was absolutely traumatizing. And you just have to sit back and be like, did they think this through before they aired it? Or was it intentional traumatizing of children? Because that's certainly a big topic.
You know what's funny? I've never actually given it a lot of thought. Like, was that where our deconstruction of heroes and stuff like that started? Like, that's such a weird thing to do with kids. Like, we grew up on all this stuff. These were our heroes. So, Saturday morning, get your bowl of cereal and you're watching this stuff, and now they're getting murdered in front of. And I'm talking about like we're 12, 8-year-olds, like we're little kids.
Like the G.I. Joe movie, do you know what year that was? That was probably late
84, I think, or 8. Might have been 84 or 86.
That seems early. I know Transformers was about that time.
Transformers was definitely 84. The only reason they changed the G.I. Joe stuff was they got so many complaints because of their main guy got killed. The kids were leaving like the movie theaters, and it was even now they still talk about it. It was so big. I know it's just like cartoons, but when you're a little kid, that stuff's traumatizing.
Well, yeah, it is just cartoons, but then like to a kid, that's your icon, that's your dude.
Yeah.
And then the same thing happened with the Transformers movie where they killed Optimus Prime, who was like the main. What is he? A truck? He's like a truck or something. He's the leader, and he's a truck.
Even the way he died was like on a hospital bed, and there's a little kid there, so it's like your grandparent dying.
Right.
And the little kid, he's crying like, oh wow, trucks and cars. Yeah. So
we talk about deconstructing heroes, and that's definitely been a trend, especially lately. But I do wonder if maybe that was the seeds that were being planted then. Because if you go back and look at like the 1970s Superman, that was pretty straightforward, very wholesome. Like everyone is clearly a good guy or a bad guy. There's no gray area. It's there's no like dark Superman moment in it. Now that happened later. And oh, okay. Just leave me to go solo here.
My neighbors
what?
My neighbors decided now's a good time to have a freaking music concert. But anyways, had to close the door.
Oh, we didn't hear it at all. But so like just talking about Superman being the original one, at least, was very straightforward. Now later in I think part 3, maybe, he has the whole like he splits from himself and he has the dark Superman moment or the scene or whatever. But besides that, like superhero films are pretty straightforward at that point.
Yeah, I think that comes from the whole perverted authority, like watching Vietnam vets be the bad guy, maybe in like say Platoon or Casualties of War, where our guys are doing bad stuff.
That's an excellent parallel to bring up.
Say again.
That's an excellent parallel to bring up.
Yeah, or even the abusive cop. Like one of the rules in Hollywood was like the bad guy at the end had to win. I'm sorry, had to lose, and you couldn't just show police in a bad light. So the evil Superman trope with alternate version Earth where Superman goes back. Oh, Injustice. And then you've got The Boys, Brightburn, and all of these bad guy Superman. And I think Superman always represented, well, it was truth, justice, and the American way. So I think they're trying to say, oh, America's evil. We're this giant, super-powered, evil thing. So
Yeah, I mean, especially with The Boys, which if you guys have never watched The Boys, I think it was originally a comic series that was adapted by Amazon into a pretty big series, TV series or live action series for, it's been like 5 seasons, so probably 7 or 8 years now. And the main character is a Superman knockoff named Homelander. And he starts out as like this, basically an evil Superman who's like a megalomaniac, and he slowly devolves into a pure psychopath. But they also start making it like a direct correlation to Trump. And that's kind of where the show started to kind of go off the rails, where it was less about the story and more about, hey, how can we take a giant shit on Trump this week? But definitely it's turning the whole superhero thing on its head. And I guess like what Randy was saying, to make the good guy the bad guy, to make America the bad guy, and so on.
yeah, he's got so Homelander, he's a blonde guy. He's got his cape is actually like red and white. He's got eagles on each arm. So he's basically just a caricature of America. And originally the writing was so good, you were just terrified of the main star, because his acting is phenomenal. So you don't know whether you're going to live or die when you're with this guy, because he's just out of his mind. And it just crapped the bed towards the end. They're like, oh, let's use this to just make fun of Trump. And one of the main issues with these people is they can't say, how tall are you, Ben?
About 6'3".
They can't say, oh, Ben's tall. Everything just has to be, you're bad, you're bad, you're bad, you're bad. Ben's not tall. He's not a tall guy. He's 6'3". Just admit that. Like, so they just made him like this weird, strange, what you said, just to make, initially he was very tactical. His stuff was thought out. He was a psycho. So any scene with him in it, like you were scared, like, what's this guy going to do next? So,
yeah, he's very unpredictable. There's always good tension in the scenes, because he could be like fine, or he could snap and kill everyone on the planet, and you didn't know what was going to happen. Towards the end, it was like, he's going to be a dick.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, you know what's funny with the show? It is the perfect. So I'm going to segue into woke conspiracy theories. So I'll quickly explain woke, but I'm actually use woke. I mean, The Boys to explain woke. Woke initially was something good. It was basically, I think he was a jazz musician or something. He's driving through a sundown town. It's like way back. He calls some radio station. They're like, hey, be careful. That's a sundown town. The sheriff there is racist. Just be careful. Stay woke. So people don't understand woke got hijacked and manipulated, and it's now corporate woke. And with that said, I'll let Ben give his 2 cents on it, and then we'll use The Boys or whatever to kind of show you guys our thoughts on woke.
Well, yeah, like you were saying, it originally was something good. I mean, when I first heard the term, it was like, if you were woke, you were kind of hip to, I guess, like the idea of government corruption, and you weren't like totally down the rabbit hole, but you were at least seeing that things weren't right. And then it got hijacked, just like I would compare it to the Summer of Love, the original Summer of Love, the hippie movement, and how that started out as something seemingly really good. I mean, it was about, love everyone and peace and unity and all that, but then it seemed to get hijacked. And I wonder if that was because that was a threat to the establishment. So they got their guys in there and started kind of redirecting it. And I would say the same thing is probably true with woke, where you have the potential to have a problem if you don't get on top of it and take control back of it. So you have to kind of steer it to where you want it, which is, it's usually an inversion of what it is initially. And that theme, you can find that everywhere, inversion of reality, of good in nature and all that. So I think, yeah, they hijacked woke essentially and turned it into this extremist thing that we see now that's infected most of entertainment industry or entertainment media, especially.
Yeah, so it's got so what's funny about woke is I'm like, did woke get infected and it's infecting things, or is woke itself the infection? And when I say woke, I want people to understand I'm talking about this corporate, rule-oriented, with its Marxist underpinnings of victim versus victimizer, oppressor versus oppressed, which it just fails. I'm gonna say it. It fails because it looks at things like you have these grooming gangs in the UK. They're raping these girls and they're doing horrible things to these girls, but they're a certain color. So because there's too much of this certain color, race, region, and religion, they're like, oh, we don't want to appear racist, so we're not going to investigate it. So you're going to sacrifice these girls for that? Good, Ben.
Well, I mean, I was going to bring up, you have to sell this stuff as something good. So the example or the analogy of a Trojan horse comes into play a lot here, where outwardly you have to sell it as peace, love, unity, blah, blah, blah. On the inside is where the toxic shit is. And that's where, that's where the society is being gutted by like the grooming gangs, because we can't talk about children being raped because they're brown guys. Even though they're clamoring about Epstein, we won't talk about the UK gangs doing it because blah, 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 blah. But yeah, it's just remember, Trojan horse. You can see Trojan horses everywhere.
I call it compassion communism. It's basically, I'm going to choke you to death because I love you. I can't breathe, but I love you. And it's same with the open borders. Like, how many women were murdered, raped, young girls, they're still in slavery. Mm-hmm. Oh, you guys just don't like brown people. Yeah, it's not about brown people. It's about who's getting sacrificed. Actually, it's just at what cost. Like, we're doing this thing that is quote unquote good, but at what cost?
Well, and then that's always the trigger too. Like for the media to come in when you're saying like, we're going to look at this issue. They come in and go, well, you can't look at this issue because it's brown people and you're racist for doing that. It's just like if you had a security system, your security system is being triggered by this threat, and it comes in and neutralizes the threat. And that's what the media exists to do. So taking this back to the entertainment industry, what we're kind of getting at tonight is that the woke stuff is being rejected by audiences, even though they keep trying to inject it repeatedly into every conceivable project out there. It is being rejected, and you can see that in the box office. You can see that in ratings, non-reviewer ratings, like just your average viewer, word of mouth kind of talk about whatever series, movie, whatever. It's falling on its ass, and it's delightful.
What I think people are starting to see is it's not just like you said. Okay, we're looking at it and they're saying we're trying to protect brown people, and you're not. Because you know this, I work security in LA. It's a lot of white dudes coming in and robbing our store, and there's a bunch of Hispanic females in there and gay females in there, and they're being terrorized by these guys coming in there on drugs. So now the new Trojan horses, you're just mad because they're on drugs or they don't have as much money. These guys make maybe $55,000 in benefits and assistance. People are saying that in their real life, and then they're saying you're pushing that on whatever movie you just came out with. Like it's, I don't have any movie in mind, but I'm with you. It flopping, good, thank God, because I don't think Americans we're just not built for it. That's all.
I mean, it worked for a while, and but you can't just keep selling bullshit, because eventually they're going to be like, well, I've been eating bullshit for the past 6 years. I know I'm eating bullshit. No matter how much sugar you put on it, it's still bullshit. And I think COVID was probably a pretty big turning point for, at least that's when I started to notice it, was films were really bombing. Like, you look at big series like Star Wars was totally bombing, and every project they came out with was pretty much garbage. And that's okay, that's subjective, but I think when enough people are agreeing that something is garbage, we can go, yeah, it's pretty bad. And it all seemed to be around COVID is when it turned.
Because so this stuff conflicts with itself so bad that seeing all of its things in real time. I'll give you a perfect example. During COVID, you weren't allowed to protest for reopen California, which I protested because I was called stupid, selfish, a super spreader, and a grand killer. But I was allowed to protest for BLM because that's how viruses work. So if somebody has principles and morals, they're like, I kind of think you guys are full of crap. So you have that part of COVID, and then you had the riots and the protests. And then another thing that I think happened is what you said. We were a certain age when those seeds were planted about, oh, the death of your heroes. So those kids grew up, they're probably 40 something right now, and they're putting out movies where we got to kill Han Solo, we got to kill Princess Leia, and we have to kill. I don't know. What's your thoughts on it? I don't know.
They didn't kill Lando. You can't touch Lando because he's black. Lando was
They
safe.
didn't kill Randall. Wow, that's deep.
I don't think he was even in the new trilogy, was he?
He was.
I never watched it, so disclaimer, I never watched it. He was
He
in it?
was. So basically, what you had was Ray took over for Luke. Luke became like a disenfranchised, disgruntled, I hate everything kind of guy. Han Solo was the father figure. He was killed by his evil son. So it's
Sad.
yeah. Sorry for the spoilers if anybody didn't see that. My bad. I should have said spoiler.
Yeah,
but,
if you haven't seen this 6-year-old movie by now, sorry.
but you
And
know,
Snape kills Dumbledore, by the way. Boy,
I think what happens is it's just the death of our culture. Like they're trying to rip it down, and here's the thing with any movie, any TV show, everyone wants to see the hero's journey. Like they want to see call to action, how you changed, and your response to it. Oh, and that you earned it. Not that you earned it because you're a white dude, a black dude, a woman. Oh, you're gay. That's so cool. You win. Nobody wants to see that. No one. Even Rocky. Dude, you got to punch. I was gonna say beat some meat, but you gotta punch.
That's after the show.
He earned it. He's running down the streets of Philadelphia. He's getting beat up. He just wants the girl, and now it's, well, I check off this, so I win.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well, that's a great point, is the hero's journey, because that's such a mainstay of our storytelling as humanity, or as humans, humanity. And if you look at things that are coming out recently, it's really, there's no struggle. Like everyone's a Mary Sue, especially when it's a woman in the role. Which, yeah, you can have fucking female protagonists. That's not a problem. But it's when you're just doing it to, I guess, to subvert the norm. Like it's an intentional effort to, I don't know what you'd even call it. Like you're just pushing this DEI woke agenda, and audiences go, that sucks.
You know what's funny? You can actually do any of the stuff you want to. You've got to entertain us. You have to distract us. Like if you're going to plant these seeds, put out a quality product. Aliens is one of my favorite movies. Sigourney Weaver, because there's her human aspect of it, and there's the alien's human, not human, but the motivation of the alien. It's the queen. She's protecting her broad.
Yeah.
We're taking this place over. I mean, it's animalistic, but whatever. That's the motivation of the antagonist. Her motivation is, I think her daughter had died. She finds that little girl, and now she's running around kicking ass with a bunch of Marines.
Yep.
And it's believable because at one point she's like doing whatever that robot thing is. It's basically a forklift.
Oh yeah.
So it's kind of like a little bit of train. Oh, she has a little training
Get
montage
away
with one
from
of the
her,
Marines.
you bitch.
Yeah, she earns everything's believable because she earned it, and you can see the human aspect.
Right. She earned it. Like she's struggling throughout the entire thing. She's human. She's not just like picking up the sword and slaying 1,000 fucking bad guys with no training and no effort. And call it woke, call it whatever you want. It's just bad storytelling. And now I feel like storytelling is second place to visuals. Like everything is a spectacle now because you have more CGI power than you've ever had in history. So theoretically, we should be able to make like really good films, but we're not. We're making really bad films that look okay. There's a whole different discussion about FX studios and how they're being basically underbid, and that's why CGI has gotten progressively worse looking. If you go back and like think about, do you remember the second Mummy film where
Yes.
The Rock shows up as the Scorpion King? Do you remember the CGI in that being like laughably bad?
Right.
And then just a few years later, you've got like Gollum in The Lord of the Rings, and that's still kind of a standard now. That's 20-something years later, and that's still like a pinnacle of graphics. And the film didn't revolve around the graphics. Like the graphics are there to enhance the storytelling, and now like I'm saying there's no storytelling, or there's very poor storytelling, and it's more about the graphics and the spectacle, and just keep things coming at the audience like that so they don't have time to think about what a shit fest they're watching.
I think I got this from the cop I worked with when I was a brand new cop. He said, big picture, little picture. With any movie, it's always, you have an establishing shot, like we show New York City, and then we narrow it down. Maybe it's the mafia. Look how many people in my mafia. There's 2,000. But the story is always going to be this, the core 13 people or the core 8. And that's what the story's about. So you have to have a good story with how these people interact and relate with each other. If you're like, oh, look at this giant monster and these space swords and these spaceships, and there's no story, people are like, oh, I'm bored now. I'm tired of the fireworks or whatever you're trying to show me. Like, we have superhero fatigue. Look at all the Marvel movies. If you'd have told me years ago you're going to be tired of Marvel movies, I'd have been like, I don't even watch Star Wars anymore. Like, I pretty much don't watch any of this stuff. So
I think I had superhero fatigue like maybe when Iron Man 2 came out. Like I was done by that point. I was just like, this is so bad. There's nothing happening. It's just, the CGI boss fights. And so I never really got into the Marvel. Like I liked the first Iron Man, but then after that, it's just, I don't know, the storytelling took a backseat to what we were talking about, just the graphics being the big thing. And like even the Avengers stuff, I never really resonated with me.
you know what's weird? I wasn't against it, and I was like, I'm supposed to be for it. because in my heart, I'm like, you're a nerd. You're supposed to like this stuff.
Yeah.
And you're right. I didn't. I was like, I'm watching it, and I'm like, you're supposed to like it. And that was the only thing going on was you're supposed to, and I wasn't. Like Thor, Captain America, it was like, I did like the last two movies, but some of it was because there was some buildup. You guys did put some work into this. All of the Easter eggs paid off. But then when I found out some of it was conspiracy theory stuff, because they were winking at each other. And when I say winking at each other, I mean the producers. Like they were saying, "Hey, Civil War," and then all this stuff started happening with us.
Molly
left
says
person
hi, by
right.
the way.
Second,
Molly says hi from the concert, by the way.
hi Molly. I hope you're having fun at the concert.
It must be a really good concert if you're watching us instead.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So like one of the movies, they were kind of giving some of their stuff away. You got this corporate industrialists versus the Patriots, and they're trying to arrest the Patriots. I'm like, I can see what you guys are doing there.
Yeah. Well, then after Endgame, it seemed like the entire thing just kind of fell apart.
Oh yeah.
You know, every single series that came out, every miniseries, every film that came out was just an instant bomb. And I think that was, when did Endgame come out? Like, what year was that?
2018.
It was that long ago? Wow. Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh
So
yeah.
definitely post-COVID, like we were talking about, is when things just totally went to shit.
But they had adopted the whole girl boss identity politics. And you can see the rules in all their movies. Like Thor has to fight his sister Hela. Well, we can't have a guy fight a girl, and we definitely can't have a guy win. So
Right.
female Thor has to come and help and take the fight over. So and people, they're not stupid. They can see, okay, so these two identities are about to fight. We already know. We know which way it's gonna go.
Yeah. And I like at the time I wasn't even necessarily consciously paying attention to these themes that were happening, like where you would have a woman show up, a woman character, and she would suddenly be the star, and she would be better in every way than like the dude that the fucking name or the film is named after.
Oh yeah.
Like in Ragnarok, who is the what was the Valkyrie, like the former Valkyrie chick?
Right.
And she just like came out of nowhere, and then she was the star almost. And then Thor's sister was the villain. And who actually defeated her?
I think it was a female. It was one of the females on Thor's team.
Yeah,
She
so
took his eye and beat him up. So, like, dude, you're
girls get it done.
yeah. And that was one of that happened in The Boys.
Yeah, that was straight out of The Boys.
And dude, I'm not. This is no dig on women, but it's just you can't force stuff. Like, I've got to earn whatever it is I'm doing. I think $1 Million Baby was good. She earned it. Aliens was good. She earned it. You don't just get to show up and say, like He-Man, the animated cartoon on Netflix, they immediately kill, spoiler alert, they immediately kill He-Man and then replace him with, I think her name's Teela.
I think I just saw that last night. Like totally unrelated to this. I think I just saw that. It's like killed He-Man in his own fucking series.
Yeah. And they do a lot of that. They just do, we're going to gender swap, we're going to race swap. And it's, to me, it's racist because why can't I just have my own, whatever? I'm a superhero that, I don't know, I do whatever I do. I don't have to be Black Batman or Black Superman. And they were like, no, we don't trust you. So we want to destroy this IP using, because they know people are going to start talking. And then I think they just want to destroy it. That's my 2 cents on it.
It seems like they want to destroy it. And then at the same time, like they're trying to destroy it, but they're failing at it. And they're just kind of torpedoing their own ship at the same time. At least that's what it looks like to me. And I don't know if it's intentional or they're just complete fucking morons and they don't understand what they're doing, which is hard to believe because they've been making movies for so long, and all of a sudden everything is failing and they just keep failing. That doesn't make any sense.
I know ESG has something to do with it, like your ESG score, how many political points and environmental and sustainability and stuff like that. So go ahead and put out the trans Bud Light commercials, and when you crash and burn, don't worry about it. We're going to give you some loans or a good credit score, things like that. But where are you guys getting all this money from to torch billion-dollar projects? Like, you guys trillionaires? I don't know.
I mean, like, again, with the technologies available now, with the funding available now, we should be making the best films that have ever been created. And instead, we're just creating dud after dud after dud. And considering how much effort goes into every one of those duds, and they just keep making them, it's like, who is in charge? What are you guys paying attention to? Because holy shit, you're going straight at the iceberg and you're like reversing and going back into it and reversing and going back into it. It's like, how many hits does it take to sink this fucking thing? But I don't know. But yeah.
Also, if you're like a real artist and you put your life into this movie, aren't you kind of sitting there like, we're going to do what with this movie now?
Oh, yeah. And I think a lot of them are like kind of paid to be like, don't bring this up. We know it's shit, but you're going to take your paycheck and you're going to praise it. And then you can say whatever you want privately. Which is funny. Do you remember what happened with the Snow White chick?
Yeah.
During that, like how she was, what was she? She was talking about how Snow White was not going to be like the traditional fairy tale where the prince rescues the princess, and
right.
I forget what else she was talking about, but like she pretty much tanked the film before it even came out, and that more or less ruined her career, even though she's still around. But that was a really interesting example, kind of like going the other way, where it got so woke that it ruined the film before it came out.
You know what's funny? I watched a movie kind of where an actor did exactly what you're talking about, and the movie was actually good, and it bombed because I'm like, you don't have a press secretary or a publicist or somebody to tell you, don't go out there and say that craziness. So I don't know if these people are smoking their own stuff or they're making movies and TV just for them. Like, maybe it's some sacrificial weirdness or.
Yeah, I mean, that's another angle of it that we can get into. It's just like the whole, you want to call it an Illuminati shit that's going on behind the scenes in Hollywood, and what they may be, are they the ones steering this into the woke agenda, which is, again, the Trojan horse that looks good on the outside, but contains all the evil, rotten shit on the inside, which I think ultimately is just aimed at breaking down culture and society.
Yeah.
It's what it seems to be doing anyway.
So from a Maoist perspective, I think he burnt down libraries and was destroying statues. So that's how he was destroying his culture. From a Christian perspective, the Luciferian thing, like what you said with the Trojan horse, he's not going to come like an a-hole. He's going to, hey, you want to eat an apple? Who told you were naked? Don't you want to be like God? So
right. Yeah.
I think they always start with a nice, we're just some socialists, everything's cool, and then they put the hammer down with the whole communism thing. So, but you definitely have to destroy cultural norms, like what it means to be a hero, things like that.
So, like, what do you think was? I know we already mentioned GI Joes and Transformers, but as far as like movies, what do you think was the first breakdown of the hero?
First deconstruction of the hero. I'm not that good with the historical part, but I do know time-wise, you could kind of tell where everything was at. I want to say before 2005, 2007-ish. Yeah. If you watch The Office, you could watch pretty much any episode and you can't really tell what year it is. And I know that's not answering your question, but if I had to guess, I'd say 2005-ish.
That's We were talking before the show about when we think film in general kind of turned, and I would say around that. I think for me it's about 2003 or so, and that's right after the third Lord of the Rings film came out, and that seemed to be a pretty clear marker point for me as far as like things starting to go downhill after that. But getting back to like superhero, I feel like even though Tim Burton's Batman was he was heroic and everything, it was also a markedly darker take than had ever been done on the character. You go back to like the Adam West guy, the Adam West version where he's in the fucking gray tights and like disco shit and all that. And then you've got like a dude in solid black armor, and it's a super grim film.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that was, it wasn't like a breakdown of the hero exactly, but it was definitely a darker tone. And we had some lesser remembered films in the 90s. There was, and these are based on pulp characters. There's The Shadow and The Phantom. They both came out around 94, 95, 96, somewhere around there. But they were straightforward. And I don't know where the first one was, so I'm not sure.
Well, some of these heroes and stuff is kind of hard for the left liberal progressive to digest. You've got this rich white guy fighting crime, and they're like, why don't you just kind of take your $1 billion and use it that way to fight crime?
Right.
And I think the take on it with The Dark Knight and some of those movies was more, this is pretty much hopeless, just save who you can save. That was kind of a lot of what I got out of it. And even some of it, which is even scarier, was when you try to do this much more good, this much more bad shows up. So you might as well just sit home and don't do anything.
Yeah. So there's
But
this
to your-
idea. Go ahead.
No, good.
Go ahead, sir.
To your question, I don't, you know what? We kind of, they started developing an appetite for the bad guy, if you realize it. Scarface, The Sopranos, Breaking Bad. So we kind of started going towards where the protagonist was an actual bad guy.
Yeah, we started focusing on the villain and making them more interesting than the hero.
Right.
That's a good point. So we were talking, I think yesterday or the day before, about the idea of morals being kind of the focal point of a lot of storytelling before whatever point, 2000, whatever point. And especially in the superhero genre, where everything was the hero wins the day, everything is full of hope, bright colors and happy music and whatever. And then at some point it started to gradually get darker and darker and darker. If you remember when the Nolan Batman films came out, that's when they started using the word gritty. And everything was gritty after that. And what they meant by gritty was just to make it more realistic. But like, why do you go to the fucking theater? You go to escape reality. You don't want to see reality on the screen. You're already living in that every day. But they started making it more and more gritty and realistic and grounded. And that's when things started to turn from hopeful into not so hopeful. And, the bad guy is more interesting. Maybe the bad guy is even right, and the hero is misguided.
Yeah. We can even take Superman and Supergirl. So it's bright, it's shiny, but what is he? He's goofy. He's getting beat up in his whole movie. And no, I won't give any spoilers for this new Supergirl coming out. But look at who she is. She's more of this Guardians of the Galaxy alcoholic, taking the crap on men. Her cousin Clark, he's kind of corny. He's wearing his underwear on the outside. So even when it is kind of bright and shiny, it's like, we're done with bright and shiny. We want gritty and dark and despair. It's like, that's not what I'm doing in movies.
And who's the director of both of those films?
Right.
James Gunn.
Right.
And what kind of things was he tweeting on X so many years ago about pedophilia?
Yeah, I recently watched, what's the other one? Damn it, what's this guy's name? He's got a like red, the wrestler, Big Gun. I want to say Prime Video. Damn it, what's the name of that show? It's kind of like The Boys. He's got like a Suicide Squad. He was in Suicide Squad. It's a spinoff of it.
Oh,
Johnson.
the Peacemaker.
Peacemaker. He directed that, and same thing.
Oh, I forgot he directed that. Yeah.
Yeah, just weird take on superheroes. Like Peacemaker is literally a murderer with a racist dad, and he's the protagonist.
And that's our hero.
And that's our hero. That's our hero.
So what
But,
the fuck?
yeah.
And he was James Gunn was like he was doing Guardians of the Galaxy before that, and I don't know where he came from before that even though. But he was like Disney's guy for a while. When J.J. Abrams turned out to be a dud, they went with James Gunn, and now he's the guy.
Yeah, like all of that, dude. You asked, so let's go down this conspiracy theory rabbit hole. I think it's something to do with I know sacrifices, and I'm not saying they're over here murdering kids, but they do have this thing with they want to kill, and when I say kill, I mean we're going to kill the hero, we're going to kill cultural norms, and we're going to kill whoever you grew up with, and you can see it in all these movies. Oh, we're going to Star Trek reimagined and reboots, and it's like, dude, you creativity is not within you guys anymore.
Well, we kind of touched on it earlier with G.I. Joe being traumatizing to watch that as a kid before going to school, and I think traumatizing your audience is a big point of what they're doing. Whether that's just to prep your mind for other things, like get you in the mindset for destruction, or whether it's just to traumatize you and to fuck with you, I don't know. But yeah, you're watching your heroes die, even as adults. That's getting into your subconscious, and you're going, oh, the hero's dead now, so now what? We have no hope. There's no one's going to save the day.
Yeah, in the movie Brightburn, it's basically a little kid. Like if Superman was a little kid and he was a bad guy, that movie disturbed me pretty badly. And what's so weird about that movie is there was no like copyright infringements or lawsuits, and it was almost like Hollywood had made a deal with the devil. Yeah, you can make a bad guy Superman, and that movie will super disturb you.
I never actually watched that one.
Please give Brightburn a look, a watch.
And sponsor this show.
Super disturbing.
And that
But
was
I mean,
before even Homelander was basically doing the same thing.
Oh yeah. He's basically like a little kid's. You could actually rename that into Homelander, and people would believe it. They think, oh, this is what it was like when he was a kid.
Jr.
Yeah, Homelander Jr.
The prequel.
Yeah. Hey, but have you noticed something? All of these zombie movies, all of these end of the world movies, every last one of them has this one thing in common. There's destroyed police cars. And what that kind of tells you is authority's gone, law and order's gone, justice is gone. No matter how you feel about cops, that's gone. So you have no hope in the system or the structure or whatever. And it's tiny little things like that they put into you. Like you said, let's traumatize these kids, the 80s. 40 years from now, we can go ahead and pull out the fruits of the seeds that we planted. Like,
oh yeah,
it's not that weird that your heroes died.
And like those kids that were watching that shit then are the ones theoretically writing it now.
Yeah.
They're the ones in the writer's room who have no idea how to how to structure a fucking story for one thing, but also like the whole idea of the hero's journey is out. Any kind of morals are out. Any what would you even call it? Like a standard way of a story playing out is gone. Everything has to be subverted. Everything has to be very sterile and non-offensive. Unless you're offending the right people, then it's good.
Yeah, you can't even have. So when you and I were growing up, Steven Seagal, one of his movies, he's fighting Italians. Next movie, he's fighting Jamaicans. You can't have that now because, well, he can fight the Italians, or he can fight some Russians, or he can fight one of our enemies, but he can't fight this group, or he can't fight that group. I was actually kind of surprised when I saw Punisher. He went into a bathroom and he's beating up women. That kind of surprised me. And then soon after that, they just said, you know what? No more Punisher. And I want to say
That's the
beating up
one
women.
on the Netflix one.
Netflix. I want to say he was beating up women. They were trying to kill him, but still.
Oh, I totally don't remember that.
It was season 2. Like a 6-man team comes to take him out, and 2 of them are women. He kills 2 of the guys at the bar. He beats up the women in the bathroom. And my point is, like, you're just not allowed to. Now, because of identity politics, you can't beat up this guy, you can't shoot that person, and you can't. It's going to be problematic. And it's like,
Yeah, right. Even if it's a villain who's trying to kill the hero, if it's a woman, can't do it. If it's a minority, can't do it.
because we don't want to normalize violence against. Dude, in reality, life is life is life is life. That's another thing with them. They think reality is supposed to bend to their ideology.
Right. They're delusional.
They're
They're
delusional.
trying to, in everything they do, they're trying to bend their version of reality into reality. It's that's why you hear people talking about living in a false reality or a matrix, because shit like that, where they're trying to tell you up is down and left is right.
Yeah.
I want to
And,
also say about Steven Seagal, the only thing that he should be fighting now is diabetes. We could totally have a movie of him just fighting diabetes.
he's
He's
He
a
crashed
big
and
one. He's a big one now.
yeah. He definitely crashed and burned. But I grew up watching some. He's another one. I mean, I'm not just going to blame woke ideology. One of his little things was, I can't take any damage in a movie. Like,
Oh yeah.
I think there was one movie where he did get shot and he ended up in the hospital.
There was one movie where he died, and it was I think Executive Decision with
Yeah.
Russell, or was it Russell Crowe?
Yeah, he's climbing up a ladder from his plane to another airplane.
Yeah. And there was a story about that, how he was refusing to film the scene. So he was like in his trailer refusing to come out and film it because Steven Seagal does not die in a movie. And they had to coax him into it, I guess. That's, as far as I know, that's his only on-screen death. It's sad, man. It's sad. Like, that's the movie you're going to be like, no, I don't die. No one remembers that shitty fucking movie now.
But you know what's funny? That mentality that you're talking about right there is, nobody wants to see that in a person or in a movie or in
It's
an
not
institution.
interesting. It's
Oh,
not
God.
interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, Luke Skywalker got his hand cut off. That's interesting. Conan the Barbarian, the first time he confronts Thulsa Doom, he gets his ass kicked and he gets crucified on a tree and almost dies. And then he goes back and wins. But without that conflict, like, what are you watching? There's nothing happening. There's no interest to it.
Oh yeah.
Conflict is like, you have to have conflict, not
Yeah.
just in storytelling, but in life in general. It makes things interesting. Sorry to say.
No, even the Matrix covered that. They said, you guys,
Oh, that's right.
you rejected the Matrix because there was no conflict in the little illusion that they were providing for us, which is real. I mean, as you know, I worked Hollywood LAPD, and these guys would kill themselves, and I'm like, dude, your freaking swimming pool is bigger than my house. What are you killing yourself for? They had no conflict. Every day was amazing and beautiful. So.
They're not
Gotta have some
fighting for
conflict.
anything. They're not struggling for anything.
Hmm.
To go back to the Matrix, like the idea was that there had been, before you get onto the craziness in the sequels, the original, there were two Matrices before, or matrices before. One was basically like a heaven idea with no conflict. The other was the other extreme where it was like I guess you'd call it a hell, where it was nothing but conflict. And the human mind rejected both because you need that balance between struggle and peace, or struggle and harmony. Otherwise, your brain goes like, "This is too good. This is too bad. I can't sleep through this."
Yeah, and I think that might go to your conspiracy theory that you're talking about. The whole do they try and make it bad for us Americans, and then they kind of slow down and back off because they're like, well, we can't just burn everything down all at once. We're just going to kind of, eggs are going to be $9 and gas is going to be $7. All right, chill out. We don't want them to start rioting and getting crazy. So
It's the example of the boiling toad, where you have to slowly boil the water, or else the toad jumps out because it's going too fast and too hot. But you get it just right, and the toad will sit there and cook to death.
right.
And then we all have frog legs for dinner, which are pretty good. They're pretty good.
And again, I wonder if that's on purpose. Like, because if you think about it, everything is like, I want to go on a vacation. The airlines are messed up. I want to watch some TV. Nope. Crappy television shows, crappy movie, crappy food. And I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer and complain about everything, but things are noticeably crappy.
I mean, for me, and thinking about how, especially on the entertainment industry side, everything has gotten bad. Again, it's subjective, but to say that it's gotten bad, it's almost like someone's trying to wake people up by saying, this isn't worth watching anymore. Games aren't worth playing anymore. Music's not worth listening to anymore. Stop focusing on this bullshit and let's focus on something real where we can actually have an impact. And maybe that's why, on some level, we're seeing the entire entertainment industry kind of self-destruct.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm just never, no. I've just never given it thought. That's all. I have to actually process that. Because I personally don't know. I mean,
Well, it's not like I know either. Yeah, it's speculation.
because that would imply benevolence. I can see that because I'm implying malevolence, so I could see that.
I mean, it would imply that there are the bad people, whatever you want to call them, that are still like making these shitty products. But what if like someone else was kind of holding a gun to their head and saying, "You got to make this shit. This is what you wanted, but we're going to crank it to 11, and you're going to make it so bad that you're going to destroy your own efforts." It's almost like forcing someone to walk the plank. You can walk the plank into the sharks, or you can get the knife in the back, but one way or the other, you're going down.
Right.
That's one idea of it.
Well, there's this thing about it's not in the Bible. It's this thing about the devil. They said he wins, but he keeps going so far that he ends up losing. And one thing you'll notice with progressives is they will get what they want. It's a good thing, and they just keep going until they F everything up. So I think with what you're saying, I could actually see that. Like, we're good. Everything's going the way we planned it. We went so far, everyone's like, we see through the BS.
Yeah.
We're good to go. I'm out.
If you go back to the Weimar Republic before World War II, where Germany was basically living in like I don't even know what you would call it. It's like Las Vegas turned to 10 or turned to 11 with drugs and sex, and including pedophilia being very open. And their whole society was being destroyed. And then Hitler came along. At least officially, that's the narrative. But it's interesting how that there's some parallels between that period and what we've been seeing, especially under Biden.
Yeah.
with
'Cause,
the woke stuff.
how do I say this? Tyranny usually comes after degeneracy, and because people are clamoring for, we need some kind of peace and some kind of control. Oh yeah, you know what? I don't mind martial art. I'll go in my house at 8
Right.
p.m. Nobody on the streets after 8 p.m. And that's how we got Trump. We literally got him because you guys are out of effing control. You guys are just doing the most. And people are like, because initially it was, they were rioting and they were acting crazy right before Biden. And they said, if you give us Biden, all of the rioting and all of the craziness stops. No, they turned it up to 11, like you said.
Yeah.
So now everyone's like, all right, so you're holding us hostage and you're going to kill us anyway. Might as well go back to Trump. And I'm not calling him a tyrant or a dictator. What I'm saying is, you're going to get the leadership you don't want when you keep acting the way you're acting. So if they decide to act a fool for 2028, they're going to get the person in power that they don't want. And this is not me calling out Trump or Biden. It's me calling out we the people. Like, you want to dance naked in the street in front of kids? We're going to pay the price.
Well, now as we're finding out too that a lot of these protests are funded. Like we speculated that before, we knew it, but now we actually factually know it, that they were being funded. So like this whole optics of division is being, it's not organic,
Right.
but it's having a direct impact on society, where we are just like, this is getting insane. If we continue down this path, there's not going to be a country anymore. We're going to turn into fucking anarchy. And it's the liberal shit just going crazy.
Well, that's the thing. Like, okay, I go outside, police shoot me because I'm trying to.
Because you're black.
Yeah, that's why they did it. You know what? I'm on my way to church. I just came out of the library. They shoot me. You want to riot and do all this other stuff? Cool. But you want to have a No Kings protest just because it's Saturday? People like, and I even wonder about that stuff. Like, are you trying to make it where protesting doesn't matter anymore? Like, you killed what's that thing called? The word racism is dead. The word Nazi is dead. The word Hitler is dead. Homophobe. You use it so much. And I'm actually going to ask you this. Do you think all of this stuff, and I'll go right back to entertainment, do you think all of this stuff exposed, or do you think it created the homophobia, the transphobia, the racism, sexism?
I'm sure that it brought out those things in the people who were genuine extremists, but the majority of us are not extremists. The majority of us don't give a shit who you're fucking or whatever, as long as you're not touching kids. It definitely exposed it though, because it got so overt that it was hard not to see, like, this is not reality at this point. There are people who believe it's reality because they're brainwashed by it, but the majority of us were going like, this is a little weird.
So in the 90s, entertainment had like this positive, the music, even rap, like this will surprise people. Even rap was super positive. Like, we had conscious rap. Oh, for the ancestors, this is where you come from. And the prison industrial complex met with music producers, and they said, hey, start putting out gangster rap, start putting out drug use, womanizing, materialism. That's not enough. We need a little bit more. So then it became drug selling, crime, gang banging. It's not enough. All right, let's worship Satan, give him lap dances. Let's not sell drugs. Let's start using drugs. And it's like, entertainment keeps taking all these hits. Music, movies, TV, comedy.
Yeah, comedy, Jesus. Well,
Yeah.
Like what you're saying with this specific example, you can look directly at like black communities, especially inner city communities. where they are mirroring everything in that and in the entertainment industry. So especially in like rap music and talking about bitches and drugs and being in gangs, and that's what they aspire to be now. And
Yeah.
if you can't see that, like that is absolutely being created intentionally to cause that effect. Like I don't know what you're paying attention to, but and I think it's similar examples with society in general, regardless of race or religion or whatever. It's and this is a point that Molly made. It's like a diet of what you eat is what your body turns into. So you're eating this bullshit, and so your mind is turning to bullshit. But you have to look at who's feeding you the bullshit and why.
So the only thing you consume more than food is content. The only thing you consume more than content is air. So you're constantly, dude, it used to be little Ben woke up, you might watch some TV, you're driving, your dad's driving you to work. I mean, you, yeah, Ben's 8 years old at work. Well, your parents are driving you to school. You might listen to a little bit of NPR.
Yeah.
Talk crap, but whatever. Maybe finish your homework in the back seat. Whatever. Now you've got 6 hours at school. Nothing's coming in, and when I say nothing's coming in, I mean it's only human interactions. You're not on an iPad or listening to some SoundCloud rapper. It's just human interaction. And they've also had minimal content that they've ingested. So you're basically just growing up human to human interaction. Not, oh, I was on Instagram the other day and a bunch of black people jumped a white person, a bunch of black people got jumped by a bunch of Latinos, and this is why I don't like Latinos, and this is why I don't like women. And unless you're unplugged, and I consider you and I unplugged, you're like, you know what? I think the illegals are trying to take over America. I think it's the Jews. I think the Nazis are coming back. And it's like, dude, go outside, touch grass. Most people don't have an issue with you. 80% of people in America do not have an issue with you.
They should have an issue with me.
You, yeah, but I meant
Me specifically.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Well, okay, so you can talk about like instant gratification culture and how that changed. Really, while we were growing up, it was introduced with like video games, and if you remember, or at least I remember being in school when you could have, like, if you did good on a test or whatever, you might get computer time and go play the Oregon Trail for 30 minutes or whatever. And it kind of just kept building until smartphones came out, and then it just went rampant. And you combine smartphones with all the social media platforms, YouTube, Instagram, whatever, name your poison. And you just look at how that has warped our kind of collective consciousness and our ability to focus on anything for longer than 30 seconds, maybe. You look at the news cycle, we can't focus on a story longer than 24 to 48 hours. It's about our max, and then we have to have something new to consume. And it's a snowball effect. I mean, it's whoever was creating this and designing these platforms, they knew that was going to happen, but now it's just getting faster and faster, where we're always, like, to go back to the news cycles, we can't focus on anything, but we're also always being kept stressed. We're always being kept angry, always on edge. And that's when you're making your system of operating based solely on emotion rather than like logical thinking, that makes you a lot easier to control.
Right.
It takes almost nothing to trigger people now. Just
Exactly.
The right imagery, the right recording of whatever, and you can have them out in the streets rioting before the sun goes down.
Yeah, I kind of want to touch on three of the things you just said. So, like the collective, super real, super real. I've always believed in that. So there was these Vines, which was basically like Snapchat or Instagram. I'm old. I don't know what you call all this stuff, but they had brought it down from 30 seconds, like you said, all the way down to 15 seconds, even TikToks. Um, so there's an inverse. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep it simple. The shorter attention span you have, the less intelligent. So
Yeah.
if you can only pay attention for 15 seconds, we're gonna have a serious problem. And they've gotten it down to 15 seconds right now. So someone's watching a commercial. I think for YouTube, it's monetized when your commercial is 12 seconds or more. Because people are like, oh, it's been 11 seconds. I got it. And then with the last thing you said, the chaos industrial complex is a real thing. Like the reason they want these guys out here doing these horrible things to these girls is chaos. Ladies, we're gonna, you know what? Protect women. Well, what's a woman? Oh, I don't know, but protect women. Vote for me. Yeah, but you got these guys that just came to the country and they're doing horrible stuff to them. You vote for me, we're gonna. They don't do anything. Same with no bail. Criminals should be out in the street and they should be doing what they want because you don't want purple people in prison, do you? No. Okay. Now they're out terrorizing black people. And
Well, to think about like you're saying about how it went down from 30 seconds to 15 seconds. Think about how that forces you to make snap judgments in
right.
shorter and shorter amount of time. You're not getting the full information anymore, but you're being forced to make a snap judgment about something. And you combine that with being continually on edge from stress and anger and just heightened emotion. And now the right trigger comes along and you don't even have to have all the information. You just make that snap judgment. And usually the one you're making, if you're making it from an emotional place, is the one that they've designed for you to go to. You're leaping to their conclusion. It's a jump to conclusions, Matt.
Right. So during COVID, a little before COVID, I considered myself left liberal. And then, like you said, it was just too many don't believe your lying eyes and we're showing you stuff. My thing is, even the people pushing this stuff, they drank the Kool-Aid. So they want everything fast now too. So you have these families and these corporations. When I say not human, I don't mean they're lizards. What I'm saying is they knew, listen, we have a 120-year plan. So they had the patience of waiting 120 years.
You don't have to read that.
I like that. They had a 120-year plan for things. They had a 60-year plan for things. Now they're like, we got to get this thing going in 3 years. And what you do when you do that stuff is you wake people like me up, or like you, or whomever.
Yeah.
And I think America was this big, trusting, like you said, collective. You fooled half, and you're always going to fool. And it's not even half. It's just enough of them that you can fool that are going to destroy everything, and they're going to mess everything up.
Yeah.
And those of us who are awake, it's like, God, these guys are rioting again. Are you serious?
And then if you try and be like, hey, bro, you're fucking going down the wrong path here, they turn on you, and now we're fighting instead of the ones that we should be fighting, which that's by design as well.
Yeah. The whole division thing. Oh my God, yeah, absolutely. Even people are mad at leftists and liberals, and I'll take digs at them myself. But your street liberal, maybe ignorant, maybe doesn't know what's going on. It's the machine. The actual machine is what's the problem. Because when you ask them stuff, they actually don't know. Yeah, you guys think a man can get pregnant. I never said that. You need to check your machine. You need to check the narrative coming out of the machine.
Well, it's like a machine's creating I don't know, like bullshit bars, and everyone's eating the bullshit bars. The people eating the bars aren't necessarily the problem, even though they're repeating the bullshit. It's the guys pouring the shit into the machine, making the bullshit bars. That's the problem.
Funny you just said that, and I promise you, chat and audience, he and I did not discuss this. I just saw Soylent Green from Dude, really good movie. It's from the 70s. I won't ruin it, but I know it's a 50-year-old movie.
Silent Green is people.
Silent Green as people. It's about 2022, which is their future. Overcrowding, and they're making the little bars, like you said. And this guy's a cop, and it's not his fault that they're doing it. It's not the people's fault that are eating it, but the people working at the God damn it, the factory that they're making it at. Dude, you know that they're cooking up people. Like, you guys don't want to say something? You don't want to. So,
Were they like paid to be silent in that movie? I never actually seen it.
Yeah.
So they were getting kickbacks and whatever. Okay, that makes sense because that's very much like what happens now.
You want to get into that, or
what?
Did you want to get into that, or
Let's fucking get into it.
let's get into it. I asked Molly the other day. I said, "What do you think they see in that room on that screen? What do you think they're showing them? Where these Marjorie Green and Dan Bongino are like, I don't do this anymore. I resign. I quit. I'm out."
I mean, I can go pretty dark with that, but that's like a total can of worms. Kids, go out there and research MK Ultra and Project Monarch. Go research Savali Speaks and Bryce Taylor and Kathy O'Brien, and then come back to us and you'll have a pretty good idea of what we're talking about or not talking about, because it's horrific.
Listen, I just saw they were researching clean energy and they killed a bunch of scientists, and people are like, okay. And I'm like, something has to be wrong with this. It has to be some signals. It has to be, like you said, MK. And I'm actually not Mr. Conspiracy theorist like that. But really, you kill 10. Oh, and then it's so funny. The government representatives are like, it'd be foul play. If 10 people on your block got killed,
Foul play?
it could be foul play. So back to what you said. And I'm not even talking about we got this guy and we're gonna have him. We're gonna give him the signal and he's gonna go do this one crazy thing. I'm talking about just us. Like, hey, you know, there's aliens. Oh, okay. What happened to us?
Right. Yeah. That's weird, isn't it? There was basically no reaction. I mean, we can say that we're all programmed on some level because we have all been alive long enough. We've all been exposed to many, many, many things that we don't know about. So we're probably all programmed at this point to some extent. Not saying we're full on robots, but the way these things work, we probably all have some very subtle programming laid into us.
I think so. I heard this guy, he was, dude, on a normal talk show, which I don't watch anymore, but just on a normal talk show. And he said, one day you'll wake up, you're in America, you get your cup of coffee, you get in your car, you turn your radio on. You're in America, but you're not in America. And it was so scary. And just some normal, I can't even remember the actor's name. I can't even remember anything about him. And that's us. Like 1994 Ben and 2026 Ben lives in two different friggin' realities. Like 1994 was not 2026.
Did you ever watch the Westworld series on HBO?
Yes.
Did you watch all 4 seasons of it?
No, I got to half of the first season.
Oh, you didn't finish the first season? Well, fuck you, because it's so good.
Oh, yeah, it was really good.
By the end, it's really not good. The 4th season is bonkers town. But one of the big subplots of that is that there is this giant tower that's beaming out a signal across. We don't really know if it's like the entire world or like the only surviving human city or whatever. But we keep hearing this signal throughout the season. It's like a tone signal, and it turns out to be a giant mind control apparatus that's being used to control an entire city of people. And to go back to the first season, like you have this idea of basically slave robots, but they're basically human by that point. And the more you get into that show and the more you dig into the layers of it, it's like what we were talking about earlier with the conspiracy nodding and winking. It's very much an MK Ultra based show. And if you don't know anything about that, you would just think it's robots in cowboy world. But it's when you start getting into the layers of it, it's very apparent what they're really talking about.
Yeah, part of I don't know if it's I don't think it's a contract, but part of their thing is they have this weird feeling that they need to let us know what's going on. And if you look at it, you can see, okay. So what I think is all these people party together, their kids go to school together, and it's like same way you and I are talking. Hey, did you like the Knicks? No, I actually like the wherever. I think they actually talk about this stuff. Oh,
Yeah.
so and so, he's the owner of whatever, and he's got this signal that's going out. Because a lot of celebrities don't let their kids listen to the music they put out. Some of them don't let them watch the
Right.
TV shows that they create. I think people like you and I, and maybe the audience, the ones who've woken up and the ones who have always known, they're I don't want to say they're beyond it, but they're not susceptible to it. Like,
Yeah, I would say that to varying degrees, but yeah, I would say that they have some kind of immunity to it.
just the boys, just completely the boys. Homelander represents what? Patriotism, masculinity. That's bad. That's all bad. The main people he's fighting, the main guy, the white guy, kind of a cuck. Matter of fact, he
Huey.
is. Huey. Jeez.
Yeah.
His girlfriend has to save him. He's complaining to her, like, why can't I ever save you? The black guy on the team, no problem. The person of color on the team, he's bisexual for a little while for no reason. The Asian girl,
That's right. Yeah.
yeah, Asian girl, she's disabled, she can't hear. Got to check all the boxes. Even the bad guys on the bad team, the black girl who's a murderer gets off scot-free. Just go do whatever. You weren't really that bad. The main black guy on the bad, other black guy on the bad guy team has a redemption arc. White guy remains a pervert. I think he's a rapist.
Yep.
You already know what happened there. Another black guy that's a bad guy, he was a victim of Homelander. There's another black guy that's a bad guy. It turns out he's just a good guy. And it's almost like if you're white, you either got to be a cuck, a whiny liberal, or you can't just be the good guy. Because I think Butcher, he's like the main good guy. And he's just, they said he's just as bad as Homelander.
Yeah. I mean, they turned him into a villain by the end.
Yeah.
So again, subverting the heroes.
He's kind of an Antifa caricature.
Yeah. Yeah, he kind of is.
But see, their stuff could, their own ideologies conflict with each other. All white guys are bad guys. Well, what if you're Antifa and you're a white guy? What are we going to do there? And for normal people, we can't watch this stuff. We cannot have two conflicting ideas. We're not built for that. Like, that's why I think either 1984 or Brave New World covered that. Like, oh, they just had conflicting ideas. Protect women, but what's a woman? Isn't a woman a man, or whoever identifies as a man? It's like,
Does not compute.
right.
Well, you asked a little while ago about them having like a contract to tell us what they're doing. To me, and this gets really esoteric. We're not talking about entertainment anymore. So just strap in and hold on. We're talking about the concept of free will and how they can't just like take over the world because they're going to have resistance to that. Think about how resistance is programmed into us from antiquity, where if there's tyranny, people are going to fight back against it. If you can get them to willingly enslave themselves, though, then they go along with it. So the whole idea about showing us what their plans are, whatever plan of the day is really about subconsciously getting us to accept it and be like, well, that's pretty bad, but I'm not going to fight back. I'm just going to go along with it. And to me, that's the whole point of showing us all this stuff, is to get us to accept slavery in the end.
Yeah, if you look at all of the, I'm not glad you said slavery, but look at slavery. There's currently nations that enslave people, and people don't care because we're programmed to only look at slavery as what America did with Black people. Outside of that, I'm not saying we don't care about slavery. I'm saying people don't care about slavery the way they should. I think that's done on purpose. I think because when they try to enslave all of us again, they want us looking at it like there was at one time in America that they did it, and that was slavery. This right here is just, a brave new world.
Right. This is just how things are supposed to be. We're supposed to work 14-hour days and be so tired that we have no energy for anything when we come home. We're not supposed to think about anything going on in the world. We're supposed to watch our TV and go to bed and then get up and do it again. And they've turned the idea of slavery into normalcy, where this is just the way things are. So you better accept it and be cool with it, or you can go to jail, or you can be homeless, or you can whatever, like a million horrible things that they hang over your head. But yeah.
Because at the end of the day, there's not a lot of them.
Nope.
If people knew how small their group is, I mean, with their police and their armies and their personal security, they're tiny. So that's why every now and then, let's let them let some steam off and smash up a police car and bash up one of their stores. Because they know if we go after their media and their Hollywood and them, there's nothing they can do.
Right.
So,
that's why they spend so much energy getting us fighting each other all the time about every single conceivable thing. Any point of division, any kind of label you can put on people to get them, I'm on team A, well, I'm on team B, and fuck you.
right.
Any point of division, they focus hard on, and they create division within division within division. And that's the entire point, is to keep us against each other instead of them. Because if we all united, it would be over like that. They would have no chance.
Yeah, I was talking to some leftists, and when you say division upon division, I'm not a lefty, I'm a leftist. That guy over there, he's a capital L leftist. I'm a lower J.
Right.
What is happening right now? Don't blame us. Those are the far left. I'm like, dude, if you have the left, and it's just the left, not liberals, not progressive, just the left, divided like that, we don't stand a chance.
Dude, like how many terms do they have for genders now?
Right.
Like
100%.
you're a mocha caramel with a shot of espresso, well, I'm a shot of espresso with a mocha caramel, and it's like those are two different things, but they're not. But they have a billion fucking labels, and it's even within their own team, like you're saying, they're divided against themselves into factions, and it's eventually going to be to the point where everyone is on their own team and no one's united. That's the ultimate goal, I think.
Even their flag. So they had the original pride flag, and it said, we want to add white, black, and I think brown, and then even light brown. They were like, what's the light brown for? They were like, well, for the Filipinos. And they're like, so they started fighting each other. They're like, that's going to make the flag look ugly. And they're like, we kind of even want think of the Cuban flag or the Puerto Rican flag. And they're like, no, that takes away from the, and there was much infight and concern in that. And then I worked pride security in Hollywood. And dude, they do not think all gay people are the same. There's parade gay, there's political gay, and there's bedroom gay. And some of those groups hate each other. Like bedroom gay can't stand parade gay. Political gay gets along well with parade gay. And this is them telling me all this stuff. I'm like, very, very interesting stuff. Super interesting.
Well, to bring it back to entertainment and talking about the flag, like you have every color and you have so much stuff in there that there's no design anymore. Like it's just kind of a mishmash of shit. And in much the same way with the way the films and television seem to be made now, where it's made by committee, where everyone has like their little pet project thing that they put in there, where you have to have, you just go down the checklist and suddenly it's this hodgepodge of ideas and ideologies, but there's no cohesive design anymore. Like it's just this ball of fuckness.
Yeah, that's why I like that George Lucas was like, this is my vision, this is my dream. So he goes to whoever's putting out the music for it. He said, I want this score and I want these people working on it. And for the miniatures, I want this group working on it. And no, I'm not cutting corners on. Man, when I got to call you, and then Molly's got to call her sister, and her sister's got to call me. I'm like, I asked Ben that. Yeah, but Molly asked me, and I'm asking you. It's like, we could have just put it out. Well, now I want it to be red. Well, I wanted it to be an orange.
Right, and it's
like,
just this constant back and forth, and then it's like going up the chain until someone has the final say, and it's 1,000 miles away from the original concept at that point.
Right, yeah, exactly.
And yet, like, the only person I can think of since George Lucas to have any kind of vision was Pete Jackson with The Lord of the Rings. Like, he and his team, which I guess was two other women, like the writers, they were very singularly focused or very cohesively focused. And it's just to nerd out a little bit, it's really interesting to look at that trilogy and like how it all came together, and then look at the Hobbit trilogy. Same exact team, but a total clusterfuck from beginning to end. And like everyone remembers Lord of the Rings. They talk about it. No one really remembers The Hobbit because it was so just mediocre and bland. And there's a whole story behind the scenes of what was probably the cause of that. But it's interesting that that parallel between George Lucas and Pete Jackson.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. I actually went to the movie theater, and I don't just go to movie theaters to see all of the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, I have this money in my pocket. Without a movie, I can come and watch. I'll drop that $20 for you guys. But here's the thing: you don't need to ask that guy how to make this movie. He does finance. That guy does marketing. That guy does. It's not his movie. Put out your idea, and let us, the audience, decide if we want to go see it.
You don't need to have like you don't need the test audience thing. Like you don't need people's feedback until it's released. Right. You don't need to be incorporating anyone else's vision or opinion or whatever. You need to make your fucking thing, good or bad. At least it's yours, and let it sink or swim on its own.
I'm watching Instagram shorts, and I'm like, this is better than what's on TV right now. And the reason why that's so pathetic is I am kind of a conspiracy theory guy, so I don't know how many millions of people are in America. Could be 400 million, could be 20 million. Some of us are probably extras. But
birds aren't real, man.
Yeah, they're not real. They're just but anyways, you have all these people in America, 80 to 90% of us. We want to see Ben the Cowboy. You got this tiny little percentage in Hollywood that's like, no, Ben's got to be a painter. It's like, and then they're like, oh, nobody wants to come see the show because you guys hate painters. It's like, no, dude, we just wanted to see a freaking cowboy movie or a cop movie or.
Yeah.
This guy's investigating the crime. He gets suspended. He gets the girl and roll credits. No, we need to have Jesus Christ. I'm like, no, we're not gonna go see it.
Where's the gay character?
Yeah.
Like that's not part of the story, but you gotta have a gay character. But that's not part of the story.
So now do you see why I'm watching a 1973 movie on YouTube?
Oh, yeah. Me too. Like my favorite movies are pretty much before that 2003 date. Like,
Dude,
what's the last film you saw in a theater?
great question.
You can't even think, anyway. It's been that long.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe it was Endgame.
Endgame? Wow. I think I saw the Batman in 22.
I saw the
think.
Batman.
I think.
You're right. I saw the Batman.
That's the last one I've been to the theater.
And you're gonna be surprised why I saw the Batman. His car, when he starts to go chase the Penguin, I just wanted to hear the engine turn on. I know it's super nerdy, but
It was so good.
it was so good. And I knew if I watched it in my house, it wasn't going to capture all the sounds and stuff. But dude, you got the technology, the music, the people, the writers, and you're just like, nope, we want to put out some garbage.
Dude, I could talk about film music the rest of the night, just how that's followed the exact same trend. I mean, when we were growing up, we had the greats. Like, it wasn't the golden age of like Eric Korngold and Max Steiner, those guys in like the 1920s and 30s, but we had John Williams doing Star Wars and Indiana Jones and Superman, and we had Jerry Goldsmith and Danny Elfman and James Horner and all these huge names that were really talented composers. And then around 2001 or so, when Gladiator came out, you had Hans, that's how he says his name, Hans Zimmer.
Zimmerman?
Hans Zimmer. And he kind of infected film music, and that everything now is either written by him or one of his students almost exclusively.
Wow.
And they all kind of mimic his style in some ways. Not everyone. Some of them are actually talented, but he changed the sound of film music. And it's never going to go back to what it was, which is a shame. And I think it's the same with films. Like, it's never going to go back to what we had in the 80s and 90s.
Here's how sad what you just said is. Every time you mentioned a movie, I could hear the music you're referring to.
Yeah.
That's super effing. The fact that I can't remember the last movie I saw, but I can remember the musical scores and everything that you brought up. What are you guys doing?
So the second film I ever saw in the theater when I was 4, I guess I was 4 or 5, was the Elfman or the Burton Batman. That was scored by Danny Elfman, like instantly iconic, and that was like ingrained into my little Ben ears and my musical DNA because it's so good. But then think about the music from like the Chris Nolan Batman. I guess there's a theme. I guess you might be able to picture it in your mind, or you might not be able to, but there's a definite lack of identity, of musical identity now in films.
Yeah, and like I told you, you can't tell. So 80s had its own, whatever you want to call it. Even the 90s was cutting too. Like the Christmas sweaters and a certain type of music, and super focused on family. The Cosby Show. Bill Cosby was America's dad, and just positive. And then late 90s, it wasn't even negative. It was just we were kind of embracing technology. And then 9/11 happened.
Yep.
I think smartphone and a few laws and technologies came out. 2005, because even if you think about like rap, like a G6, Black and Yellow, just basically pop type rap music with complete garbage, and then mumble rap, and then SoundCloud rap, just took a crap. Dude, I don't even listen to rap anymore. And what sucks is it took away so many things. I don't read comics anymore. I'm not a Star Wars fan anymore. I'm not into Marvel anymore.
Yeah.
I don't. Neither political party is mine. So that's all of the bad stuff. The cool thing is I'm a patriot. Why? Because I'm American, so I'm under that flag. I'm talking to you. You're under that flag. Gay people are under that flag. And people don't understand where the divide comes from. The divide comes from, dude, your flag for your sexuality is just your flag.
Yeah.
My flag for this movement is just my flag for that movement. It's like, dude, we're divided. That's how they defeated the Native Americans. Oh, Cheyenne, Blackfoot. If we're all 340 million of us together, we're something to fear. I know I was all over the place with that, but
It's fine.
yeah, good times.
Well, so you were talking about music and how it's gotten kind of, especially rap, has gotten kind of shitty. And I know we touched earlier on how that what would you even call it, like black attainment has been used to kind of shape the black communities. But then I want to talk about it as far as more general. And I have to go back to music history for this, so please feel free to take a nap during this. If you go back to art music or concert music, classical music is what most of you would call it, and go look at the period just after World War II, we started getting away from like traditional sounds, and we were exploring something called atonality and minimalism, and that was as a way of kind of pushing the boundaries on what we knew was possible in terms of music structure. But what happened was they leaned into the experiment side of it so hard that they wound up alienating their audiences. And orchestras have never really recovered from that. But you can see a similar trend kind of take place as an echo in pop music and rock and rap and just like the mainstream music, where if you go back maybe to like say the 70s, you'll have like this certain level of complexity. Like let's just say it's represented by 4 lines, and then you go forward a decade and it's this and then this and then this, and you have this gradual the structure and the elements that are present get more and more simplistic. Lyrics, harmony, rhythm, all of it gets more and more simplistic. And I think that's not so much like an organic evolution of music. I think it's an intentional way of dumbing things down. Just like you can look at it in anything, not just music, but film and television, video games, etc., where everything has gotten more and more spoon-fed to the audience. And it's, I think, to make us stupider and make us more dependent, more infant-like. What do you think?
No, I completely agree. Because as you were saying it, I remember, I want to say he started, I think he's called the godfather of the boy bands, but he was explaining, and I can't articulate like you can, but he was kind of explaining how many beats per minute or whatever, however he said it. But I'll just keep it super simple. He was saying, we have this formula, we have this many guys in the band, there's going to be our bad boy, there's going to be our lead singer, this guy's going to be this. But for the music part of it, we're going to keep it super simple to where you could sing I love you, baby, over this format, or you could sing I really miss you, baby, over this format. And he's like, we're just releasing the same song over and over.
Yeah.
And dude, those are the pop hits.
Yep.
So,
well, I mean, to go back to the music example, if you look back in history and you go back to like the 1600s and kind of in church music, if you look at the role of music in church, it became less about worship, and at some point it got more into where they're studying the effects, the psychological effects. So you might start a service with something very somber, and that puts people into a receptive mood. So it's going to be something somber and slow. It gets their heart rate down and where they're kind of into a trance.
yes.
But then you end the service with something very upbeat, something lively that gets them excited, gets their blood flowing faster, gets their adrenaline pumping. And what that creates is kind of a dopamine effect, or it's a dopamine hit. So now they want to come back next week and get more of the same thing. And that kind of psychological connection between music and people's responses, that's absolutely something that's been studied in depth and is used in every genre you can imagine now.
Yeah, the fact that these music and like all these people, they're all meeting with each other. Like, oh, what does this do? What does that do? That even what you just said. I'm just gonna say, I used to do the whole pickup artist thing, like how to go talk to girls and all that stuff. And one of the things they would tell you was, when you're done talking to a girl, don't end on a somber note, like, woe is me, because her emotion that's connected to that is, oh, this guy's a real drag. And on a positive note, like you and her are laughing and giggling.
Yeah.
All right, I'll talk to you later, girl. And then her last emotion with that is what you just explained with the whole church thing. Like, oh man, can't wait to go back to church. Why? I don't know. Yeah, you left on a dopamine hit. And to the other thing you said about the alpha trans, here's what these people aren't smart. They have all this information, but they're not smart. So you had a vehicle by which you could put all of these things into somebody's mind, these suggestions. But the reason why you can't do these suggestions is because you're destroying your vehicle by which you can do it. Because when you watch a show, it's me, you, and your parents, and we're just kind of vegged out, and we're in a I think it's your alpha state. I know I'm probably getting it wrong. I don't know all the scientific terms, but you're
Yeah,
kind
I'm
of just
not
in
sure
that.
either.
Yeah, you're just in that vegetative state, and so now you're open to influence and suggestion. Like, oh, America kind of sucks. Yeah, I guess America does kind of suck.
Yep.
America's against you. Yeah, I guess. But you're an idiot. You had that, and you're so hell bent on destroying it. Like what? I'll give you a perfect example, and I'll let you take it from there. Star Wars. You had this Nazi type organization, all evil white men. They were xenophobes. All they wanted was male whites. But you're so hell bent on diversity that you put black women in there, and you put aliens in there, and you put a blue dude in there. And only thing I'm surprised at is you haven't put any gay dudes in there. And it's like, dude, you had your perfect antagonist. Like, they're your real world antagonist and
Yeah.
in universe antagonist. But you guys are so effing dumb. You're like, no, we got to have diversity on the Nazis team. Like,
Dude, I
you
mean, that goes
really,
back to the prequel trilogy too, because remember who the what was his fucking name? Django Fett wound up being the prototype for all the stormtroopers, and he's like some Filipino guy.
right? Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
like, oh, okay.
Exactly. And which of their perfect, their thing is person of color. And the reason they do that is because they don't want to give anything to black people. They're like, when you ask for something, oh, we take care of people of color. No, that guy's a nondescript, non-white guy. So he could be Filipino, he could be Hispanic, he could be Japanese, just as long as he's not white. But he's also not black. So
Right. So he should be good. Everyone
yeah,
should be happy.
yeah. So they're still doing their little goofy. I won't even get into that. We don't have that much time, but I can't remember what my point was. But you have a vehicle by which to push all of your stuff, but you're so hell bent on destroying it, which to me doesn't make any sense. I don't know why they're doing two different things at once.
I think it's kind of you could compare it to like something with physics where their entire energy is based on division, right? So there's no way you can keep something together perpetually because it's running on the fumes of division. So it's naturally going to break down, and I guess that's their challenge, is to try to build enough momentum to get it over the finish line before it breaks down inevitably, because it can't go forever just by
Yeah, oh, yeah.
by the fact of what they're running on. It can't go.
It's just weird how much they hate. So they hate God. We got rid of God. So now we're going to do the human thing. So we're being humanists, or I don't even know, humanism, whatever. But you also hate humans. Like,
Yeah.
you want depopulation, you want all this other stuff. So you just worship death? Like you don't, God knows you guys don't like kids. Crazy stuff you do with them. Women, you do all kind of evil stuff to women. So I think it's just death and destruction and division.
That's exactly it. That's the big reveal about the left at this point is they are a literal death cult. They don't realize it. Most of them don't realize it, but they're a literal death cult. They worship death. That's what they're seeking is death and destruction.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I don't like my kitchen, so I'm going to burn my house down. It's like,
Right. Rather than just like redesign your kitchen. Nope, that's not good enough. A white man designed that. We got to burn the entire place down.
I got to be honest, girl, if I was the king of America, I would make a deal with another country where I would say, we're going to give you all of the Americans who hate America. You guys are going to wherever the hell.
What about Escape from New York? We just wall off the entire city and just put everyone there. Right? We give them their utopia. They're separated from us and we let them just eat each other.
The issue is we got to go back to the Matrix. Agent Smith said the only thing comparable to humans is a virus.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not calling humans a virus, but I will vote horribly. I will destroy my city. I will destroy my state. And then I'll move where you are and vote the same way. Dude, that's a virus.
And it's like, I'll vote for these destructive policies. I'll vote for all of these horrible things just because I want to see your guy lose. Because I've been fed propaganda 24/7, 365 for how many years now? 10 years, 12 years? To the point where I can't think about anything but I want to get this guy. And that's the only thing I'm focused on is get this guy.
I have neighborhood friends who I can't loan money to anymore because after the second or third time of them not paying me back, I'm like, we're good. How do you listen to the media say the border is a manufactured hoax? Russian collusion. Biden's sharp as a tack. Dude, at some point you got to say, all right, we can't listen to these guys anymore.
You would think that we'd be there like years ago, but people are still tuning in.
Oh, yeah.
I guess, I mean, like CNN's audience has never been lower, but someone's still watching them. Someone's still reading the Washington Post and listening to all these talking heads. I don't know why, but, well, I do know why, because they're brainwashed, but why? Logically, there's no reason.
Well, a huge issue we're still having is you have your algorithm, you have controlled bias that comes through and hits your feed. So for me, dude, they don't even know what to do with me. They're like sending me Spanish commercials because they're like, is this guy liberal? Is he conservative? Is he? Because they see I'm just watching all these different things. So I get to watch all of the BS in real time. Like, I see what you guys are doing. I saw the 8 black guys jump the white guy, and I saw the 8 white guys jump the black guys. I know what you're doing, dude. Cut it up. You're just trying to divide us.
That's every single day with that now. And it's accounts that you think are like, oh yeah, they're totally on my side. They're not.
They're not. Did you want to read any of the chats? I saw you looking.
I was gonna say to Greg, you were talking about Philip Glass. I actually got to meet Philip Glass one time. It was in grad school, and he came in to do a master class, and my composition teacher wound up talking for about half of it about himself because he was a little narcissistic piece of shit. But so Philip Glass is he's very understated. He's kind of a crusty old man. He's like if who's that troll from Labyrinth? You know that character? Yeah, he's kind of like him. Yeah, the big nose and like wrinkly face and everything. But yeah, I got to meet him one time. He was kind of cool. His music is very hit and miss to me, but he has some cool stuff.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to see.
Nice.
Listen to his Hero Symphony. It's actually decent.
Nice, nice. Yeah, Molly was telling me, she said, he knows his music stuff, music composition. I said, "All right, we'll see." I know we only got 4 more minutes, but I was going to ask you, I'm going to ask you a 4 hour long question. What's your thoughts on like alternate timelines and the CERN and all this other stuff? Like to me, it feels like we're in I don't know where we are.
I can't talk about timelines without talking about the structure of time and space. So, what we experience is what I would call space time. And that's where you think about all space exists simultaneously. Like you can look out in the sky and see billions of stars, but our perception of time is fixed. So, what's the inverse of that? It's time space, where all time exists simultaneously, but our perception of space is fixed. So you have this concept of inverse. And so, for like the idea of time travel, you have to be able to navigate space time and time space. Because if you were to just travel through time right now, and let's say you went back a week, you wouldn't be standing where you're standing now. You'd be out in space somewhere because the planet fucking moved. So you have
Exactly.
to navigate space and time together. Now, as far as like altering timelines, I don't know what a timeline even is. I don't know how our consciousness moves from one moment to the next, if it forms a line or if it's like, jumping at random points in time space. I don't know. To me, it seems like it's like there are probabilities where the most likely thing is probably what we experience, even though we could experience any moments from this to the next. We could experience any of them, but we're probably going to experience this one. So that may be a timeline. I don't know if we really alter timelines. I really don't have any idea. Was that confusing enough for you?
No. I mean, the question itself is confusing because it's like these guys are talking about entertainment. You ask them about dude. It just seems like you have the ability to do something and you won't do it. And I'm talking about the entertainment part, the music part, like we covered, and it's like, where are we? When are we? Like, are we in a like it's the '80s and you've got little models and got this amazing music and we're all entertained and everything's cool. And then fast forward to 2026 where the technology is just out of control and you're putting out garbage and
Yeah.
trash and nonsense.
Yeah. There's something
So,
you might like. It's AI, but it's I think it's called nostalgia core. And it's the ones I've been seeing are like their first person point of view, and it's recreating like the 90s or the 80s, like Christmas morning or like a normal morning on the 80s, or eating whatever bullshit cereal and watching He-Man on the TV. And it's pretty accurate from what I've seen.
I think I might have seen it. I think it has. There was one I saw where it had like the A-Team guy, and it had every single '80s character, and they were in a sitcom, but it's just for like a few seconds. And, dude, super. I don't know what's going on with AI. Once they get it together, I don't know.
Yeah, I think we're on track for Matrix Town pretty quickly with that. Which, like, for some things would be really cool. But
Oh yeah,
then what if we turn it into a surrogate situation where we don't want to come out?
my life right now, currently, I could actually stay in my house with the way everything is set up. Just do Amazon food deliveries every day. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, I do got to go to work, so I'm not a good example. My dad is a good example. Like he can just stay home, and that's kind of crazy. Crazy.
Did you watch the movie Ready Player One?
Yes.
So it's based off of a novel, and the novel is even more what you're saying, where they don't leave their homes pretty much. They spend all their time on this. I think it's called the Oasis, hooked up to their goggles and whatever.
When COVID went down, my assessment of it was I want you staying at home, and I want you online.
Yeah.
So anything you do, you're hungry, hit up Amazon while we burn down all of the small businesses.
Yeah.
Or Walmart delivers. Who do I vote for? You can vote by mail. Well, how do I get my paycheck? Oh, we'll send it to your bank account. I like women. Here's some porn.
Yeah.
I like men. Well, you can
There's some
stream.
porn also.
Yeah. Everything's
What's really
across.
interesting about that is that people were so locked into like just consuming content because there was nothing else to do. And so they cranked all this stuff up, but then it still didn't take root. Like they still did it so much that it burned people out. So even with everyone more or less tuned in watching stuff, it still failed, which is hilarious. That level of incompetence is not possible. I don't think. I think it has to be intentional.
Well, never underestimate the level of human stupidity that was involved. You know you're going to do all this stuff. We got to keep these people entertained. Why don't we do this? Why don't we put out some really good movies? Why don't we make platforms where they can meet visually and not have issues like Zoom? Dude, none of it just, here's a bunch of crappy, I want to go outside. Hey, these guys are rioting. Can we go outside with these guys that are rioting?
No, you'll get the virus. You have to stay inside.
So, like you said, it didn't take place because it was just so much incompetence on top of it. Dude, you woke me up, and I'm an idiot.
Well, like for me, it was 9/11. That was so sloppy that I think it just woke a lot of people up, going like, none of this adds up. Good job.
I got super drunk in Vegas one day, and I was screaming, 9/11 was an inside job. People were looking at me like, wait, what? If you talk to... So there's a Hollywood principle of sacrifice 15%. Whenever you do, when you do a movie, so for you, I do a movie, the music is kind of crappy. So I'm willing to sacrifice you and all the people who know about music. I met a lighting guy. He said movies kind of suck for me because I can tell that it's not 8 a.m. I can tell by the light that's bleeding in that it's not dawn, it's dusk. So movies kind of suck for him. Same with nurses, police, military. So you sacrifice about 15%. So with 9/11, the masses believed it, but structural engineers and bomb technicians, and I want to ask you why you didn't believe it.
At first, I did believe it because I was going on the emotional reaction. But then I started to see things trickle in about just all the questions, and it was kind of like, oh, yeah, that doesn't make sense. And then it kept piling up on each other. And then it was eventually like, that definitely didn't happen. And I mean, the buildings, obviously, they fell, but they didn't happen the way they said.
Yeah. Just too many. Way too much. You want to know something? WMDs was our COVID. I think it was I'm not calling myself right wing, but I think it was the normal Americans COVID. We got to go over there and we got to bomb these people because they got WMDs. Yeah, America, democracy.
And it's like, oh, they didn't actually have them. Well, we're not going to talk about that. We're moving on. We've moved on from that. Stop digging up the past.
Yeah. Well, sir, you want to continue, or we're at the 2 hour and 3 minute mark? I know a crazy day.
Yeah, I think we're good. I mean, there's more we can talk about, obviously. Like, I was going to bring up reality TV, but we could do that another time. Or we could do that now.
Yeah. Let's just cover that for the next
3 hours? We're going for 3 hours?
Yeah, 3 hours is not bad. Yeah, let's take it to 2:10. So, good. What's your thoughts on reality TV?
I'm just going to talk about how reality TV, this is something that Molly kind of put in my head, was how we had this shift, I guess, with Survivor was the first like big mainstream reality thing, if you don't count game shows like Fear Factor. And I guess it pairs kind of with the instant gratification culture of phones. If you watch like the formula for how these things work, especially during the elimination phases, where like they're all structured exactly the same. Like they'll cut to someone, then they'll cut for their reaction. They get closer and closer and closer and closer, and then go for a commercial break, and then it's all the same. But it was. I think you saw this huge shift towards reality TV because of production costs. You don't have to pay a cast. You don't have to pay, like wardrobe and makeup and all these people that you would have to pay if you were doing like a regular series or a movie or whatever. And I think we all can look at something like the History Channel or Discovery Channel and compare their programming, like maybe mid 90s, late 90s, where they were showing actual documentaries and they were exploring actual things. And now it's every single program, literally every single program on there is reality now. And most of them have nothing to do with history or science or any of that. It's just sensationalist garbage.
Well, why would I show you the structure of wolves, which is applicable to humans, and it can better us, when I could use reality TV? I don't want to get too deep because people are going to figure out who I'm talking about. But there's been some relationship issues because one of the things that these reality TV things do is just gives you a false sense of what a relationship is like. It's got to be drama. I got to throw some water in your face, and I got to argue with you. So I know a few people who are going through some things with their significant others because of.
That's a good point.
So it's used as a vehicle. Don't you want to be in drama? Don't you want that? And then for the production costs, it's weird. It actually creates a culture. So these drug deals that you'll see at the pier, at a warehouse, that's actually not how real crime takes place. But because of production, I don't have to pay as much to run out a warehouse for these guys to meet. Oh, it's super cool. Like I got this limo and this suitcase and none of that goes down. But
gotta have a briefcase.
Yeah,
it's not a real drug deal without a briefcase.
Yeah. Here's a bunch of money. Here's a bunch of drugs. But it's just super simple. We're saving money. And it's funny, the real world consequences the real world consequences are negative from all of this.
Oh, yeah. Do you remember Idiocracy?
Yes.
And like all the commercials that were in that, where like the guy getting hit in the balls.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what we seem to be going towards with our reality TV. Like it just keeps getting dumber and dumber and dumber. And eventually we're going to be watching a guy being hit in the balls.
I just saw a reality TV commercial. I swear to you, Ben, I thought it was I thought they were kidding. I thought it was like they were mocking reality TV. It was actually because I was like half awake. I was like, oh, this is silly. This must be a comedy.
Nope.
I'm like, who greenlit this garbage? Like, dude,
I
get
something Molly's been watching.
What's Molly been watching?
Like she's been watching some like I forget what it's called. It's some love reality show, but it's like this. I think it's called Love or Money, and it's about a rich guy. Or no, is this just some douchebag? And he has like 30 girls, all vying for his attention because they think if they win, they get $1 million. Like if they fall in love with him, they get $1 million. And it's from what she's been talking about, it's just been like the worst fucking thing ever made. But I also think it was made in like 2013, so I'm sure there's been something worse since then.
Yeah, I had an ex-girlfriend. I don't know how she did it. She goes, "Oh, they're gonna pick Ben," and she was looking at the lighting or the music, and I'm like, "How do you always know who it's gonna be?" She said the way they frame it, and she can tell by the way they did the person's hair. Oh, that was filmed earlier, but the editing and blah blah blah.
Oh yeah,
I'm like, that's genius level and scary, but also. I don't know. It's so formulaic that.
I mean, it was formulaic I don't even remember when Survivor was big. That was like early 2000s, I think. And it's just been the same thing since then.
Oh yeah.
Like just literally the same thing. But, like the variables have changed, obviously, but
And that's what launched Joe Rogan's career, right?
yeah, the whole fear factor thing, which then I guess he got freaked out at some point because someone almost died, I think, and then he stepped away from it and then got into his podcasting thing. But that's what he did after news radio.
You're right.
Or during news radio or whatever.
He got a little weird for a second. He was doing the whole if you can envision it and The Secret and all that other stuff. But it actually worked for him, so I don't know. Just see yourself being a billionaire. It's worth a few hundred billion. I mean, millions.
You got to be a celebrity first. That's all it takes.
Yeah.
Like, well, shit. I'm not a celebrity.
Good times. Good times. Anything else, brother? Or
be sure to drink your Ovaltine. That's all I got.
Nice.
Anything from the chat? From the one person that's left in the chat?
Oh, there's only one person in the chat? Nice.
Greg's been talking the entire time, and we've ignored him. He deserves like some accolades for that.
Absolutely.
Oh, and Pammy's still there. Thanks, Pammy. Jackass started in your area? I'm sorry. You could have killed those guys, and like we would have all been probably enlightened by now.
He's absolutely right. What's funny is I was actually thinking of Jackass as soon as you said Idiocracy.
I totally forgot about Jackass, yeah.
Yeah. So another one's coming out. Dude, these guys are like 55?
They're in their mid-50s.
What are you doing?
Guys, it's okay. It's okay to hang it up. They're going to go until one of them dies.
I was going to say the same thing.
Did die.
But one of them did die?
Yeah, he died in that car wreck. It was Ryan, I think his name was. And he was in some souped up sports car and was going over 100, and he went around a corner and went into a telephone pole, I think, and the car caught on fire, and he was very badly burned to the point of being not alive any longer.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was pretty rough. So let's end on that note.
Man, it was a pleasure. You and I got to do this again. Just let the chat. Good, sir.
Absolutely. Let's do it again. Ryan Dunn, that's his name.
Just let the chat know and the audience know. Myself, Ben, and Matt will be doing another one of these, but it'll be much more concentrated on pop culture, comic books, things of that nature. But it will apply to a lot of stuff we were talking about, how it affects us as adults. Exactly, sir. Anything from you, Ben?
Well, he mentioned his name was Ryan Dunn. I was going to say his name should be Ryan Well Done, but then I'm going to hell. So
I keep forgetting about you and Molly's sense of humor.
I know, we're twisted, warped people. There's no hope for us.
So is Ryan.
Well, thanks for everybody in the chat for putting up with our bullshit for however many hours we've been doing this. 2 hours and 15 minutes. We appreciate you.
Thanks,
even if we
guys.
ignore you.
Yep and yep.
Peace out.
Peace out.
Do I have to hit it again? No.
Yes.
For realsies this time.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope. It's a cookbook! It's alive!
They're coming to get you, Barbara. Game over, man. Game over.
shit.